I am Shy and this is my new knitting and crafting podcast, Witchy Knits, because I am a witchy person and I knit. This is my living room. This is the sun. I'm sorry about the lighting situation. I know it's not optimal, but this is one single spot in my house at the moment where I can film, so we'll have to roll with it. And the sun looks to be going behind a couple of trees pretty soon, so I hope it will hurry up and plod along and do just that. But for now, I'm sorry, but I will be a bit washed out. This is, like I said, a new knitting and crafting podcast. I am really bad at looking straight into the camera. I keep looking at the viewfinder or at something else entirely. So I'm sorry about that in advance. I thought maybe an introduction of who I am would be in order, seeing as this is like a new channel. I've had another channel and some of you might have come from there. In that case, hello, nice to see you again, and you already know this about me, but for anyone who's new, who's not seen me before, I live in Sweden with my fiance David. I'm just going to refer to him as David because that's the easiest. So if I'm talking about a David, that's my partner. And we have 2 cats. We live in a tiny little house and we have a million plants. These aren't the only ones. I've got way more. I'm a bit of a crazy plant lady. I'm also an us and person, and therefore there might be a bunch of jump cuts. Just a heads up, because I do stuff like that and sometimes I just say the stupidest stuff and my cat is making faces at me. Do you want to see her? This is Elsa. This is Elsa, one of my cats, and she's so white in parts so it's hard to see her. But this is my baby Elsa, and the other cat is in the other room. He's sleeping, so I'm not going to disturb him right now. Elsa wasn't sleeping and she was on the couch with me, so it's alright. Yes, what more about me? Yes, I live in Sweden. I grew up here, but I'm part British, as you might be able to tell from my accent. But since I grew up here, knitting, I've learned to knit in Swedish, so if I mess up on terminology, it's because I'm trying to learn now what things are called. My English side is my dad's side and he does not knit, so I learned everything about knitting from my mother and my grandmother on my mother's side, and that was all in Swedish. So if I mess up on like terminology, that's why. Other than that, I'm also... now there's going to be cat hair on all my... No! Don't mess up my FOs. Let go, let go, let go of my socks. There we go. I've got a mountain of things here that I'm going to show you later on in this episode, but Elsa was like, I'm going to kill your socks! So I've got some tea. I drink a lot of tea. That's something I do. I drink a lot of tea, unless it's a weekend evening, because then I drink wine, because I love wine. So there might be a wine podcast at some point, we shall see. I'm also, apart from knitting, I've knitted all my life. Like I said, I learned as a kid and in Swedish. But I only got into like knitting a lot this year, like reading patterns. I've never read a pattern. I learned to knit socks, and that's the thing I've done the most. But that's like, the socks I've knitted all my life are these very typical Swedish or maybe Scandinavian raggsockor they're called, where you have like ribbing down to the heel and then it's just stockinette. in thick yarn. And I discovered this year that the joy of fingering weight socks. So I'm knitting so many socks at the moment, and I'm very happy that I found out about the knitting community online and like Ravelry, and like I knew about Ravelry, I just wasn't on Ravelry until this year, and I knew about podcasts but I didn't watch them until this year, except for my friend's podcast, Teddies Knitts. I'm gonna link that down in the description, where I'm going to put, like, I'm going to use all these fancy words that are new to me through podcasts, like show notes. Like, I'm going to put the show notes in the description for now. I don't know if it's good to like have people have Ravelry groups or blogs and stuff, but I mean, I just started. I don't know if anybody's going to see this, so I don't think I'm going to make a group for it now. Might in the future if we get many watchers, but yes, like show notes. Where was I? Yeah, I'm happy to have found, yeah, socks. I wasn't socks. I was happy. I'm happy to have found like the whole thing with groups and Ravelry and knit-alongs, and so like I decided, because I'm knitting a lot of socks, yeah, I decided to join #Festive Sockalong by Amy Florence. And then I found, because I do live under a rock, Vine's box of socks, and I'm like, yes, let me knit all the socks. I love socks. I hate shopping for socks because they're expensive and all of them are ugly, or black or grey, and I wear mostly all black or grey or wine red and occasionally purple, but I do love wearing a pop of colour on my feet. Socks. I love knitting socks. I'm currently waiting for some sock yarn in the mail for the Festive Sockalong, and I wanted it to be here today, but sadly shipping isn't that fast. I'm just gonna jump into my whips because I've got 3 things on the needles at the moment. I'm gonna start with my shawl that I'm knitting. I'm knitting this pattern is on Garne, it's called. It's like Yarbo. And I don't think it's been translated to English, so this pattern is only available on their website. I'm going to link it though. It's on their website and it's in Swedish, Danish, Norwegian and possibly Finnish. But it's like this super simple, it's not that big yet, but it's got like a stockinette and the occasional purl row and just yarn over increases, and I'm almost dropping stitches, which I don't want to do because that would be terrible. But yes, I think it was designed for fingering weight yarn. I'm knitting it in a lace weight Schoppel-Wolle edition 6 in the colourway 2299 Wärmebild. I don't know, but it's this yarn and it is super pretty and really, really soft and nice. It's 100%, see if I'm lying here, 100% virgin wool. So it's really cozy. It's going to be I'm going to have to get another ball of yarn for it because I want this one to be a big shawl. That's my first whip. For the podcasts. I've made one of those shawls before, but in a really thick yarn, and it's only like, I can't find it at the moment. I don't know where it's gone off to, and I haven't blocked it either, so it's like, it's not as big as it's supposed to be, and it's really warm. If I can find it, I'll probably wear it, but I just usually wear it as some sort of like shrug or something. Because it looks like that. But yeah, that one didn't turn out that great, so I'm making another one because I like that pattern and I want one in that pattern that is a nice one. So yeah, we'll see when I finish that. I hope to get another ball of that yarn on Monday when I go to the local yarn shop, because I know they carry the brand. I don't know if they have the colour, otherwise I'll have to travel into Stockholm. My second whip lives in this cute little project bag. I didn't know about well, I knew about them as well, but I didn't get the thing, because you see, I've always been one of these people that have one project, I finish that project, I don't bring it with me anywhere, and if I do, it's just in a plastic bag, and start the next one when I'm done. And now I've realised I can have several things on the needles at the same time and just choose which one I want to bring, because nowadays I always bring a knitting with me wherever I go. I was at my therapist yesterday and I had my knitting. I knit everywhere. I knit while walking sometimes. Completely hooked or needled, as I'm not crocheting. But anyway, in this bag by Teddies Knitts again, my friend made this one. He has a, what's it called? Store Envy, where he sells these, which I'm going to put in the show notes, because I love this bag. It's really cute. But yes, I didn't get the thing with project bags, because I didn't have a need for them, but now I'm obsessed and I need more, because I carried 2 projects in this bag the other day, and that's not optimal, and I really need to make a couple and buy a couple, because I am obsessed with them. But anyway, in this bag lives a sock project. This is my train knitting at the moment. I prefer knitting socks on the train, because I don't have to look at what I'm doing, like vanilla socks. So this is just a regular cuff down. It's going to be Afterthought heel, also in Schoppel-Wolle, in the colourway, let me see, this one is the Zauberball, in Fuchsienbeet, and I'm going to have to stick my hand into my FOs as well, because these socks are from the same ball of yarn, and I bought it because it's orange and it's purple. It's going to be a perfect Halloween thing, but I wanted to make socks out of it. It's not the optimal sock yarn because it's like a single ply, but I spend a lot of time at home because I am unable to work at the moment, and it doesn't really matter that was a cat, hello. I can wear these at home as cozy socks without them breaking at once. So, but yes, they're from the same ball of yarn. This is just a piece of it that I caked up. I've got more of it in my stash box. Maybe I should show you my stash box. But anyway, the only problem is that there's a lot of meters on this yarn, so the colours didn't go from purple to orange in one sock. And I've got tiny feet, so like I knit my socks on 2mm size 0 needles, and 48 stitches. That's the perfect size for my feet. I am a small person, so I didn't get the gradient from purple to orange in the same sock. I would have had to knit like over the knee socks, which I could do, but seeing as I'm trying to like catch up with a box of socks since September, where I discovered the joy of fingering weight socks, maybe not this time. I'm just making 2 pairs from the same ball of yarn, and I am going to buy more of this yarn at some point, because I was like, these are going to be perfect for Halloween. I love Halloween, and I love like the purple and orange combination for Halloween. So I'm going to have to get another ball of that, because I don't want to frog the socks. I mean, they're already done. And and make a shawl or something, maybe a shirt, or I don't know, something that's a bit more Halloween-y with that. But these are looking nice, like a sunset sock. I'm not fussed with it not being purple to orange in the gradient, but it's a bit of a pity because I bought it for them to be Halloween socks. But it's pretty and I like it, and it's super soft. This one is a bit better fitted for socks. I can't find the tag at the moment. I think it might be in my stash box. I'll actually just go and look. No, yes, I will. I have my stash box. We're not going to go through it today because that's going to be a very long video then. But yes, this is the rest of the ball yarn. I'm going to have to cake that as well. But yeah, Schoppel-Wolle Zauberball, and it is fingering weight, obviously. And it's 75 wool and 25 nylon. It's pretty and I like it. So, that's my second whip this week. My third is something that's been on the needles for a long time now, and it is the Octo Socks, which is a paid for pattern by Alyssa Stehler. The Octo Socks. This is how far I've gotten on the second sock. I'm making them in large, but on a smaller size needle, because I'm making these for a friend. Raf, if you're watching, look away for a couple of minutes, because these are a secret and I just spoiled it. Shh. But anyway, these are a gift for a friend, and I'm knitting that out of Rauma wool, lamb wool, which is like also a fingering weight. And this is the second sock, and don't laugh, it looks absolutely stupid. And again, Raf, look away if you're watching, because you're not allowed to see this yet. They look absolutely silly and ridiculous, but they fit very well on David, who's got the same foot size. I know because I've knit socks for Raf in the past, and they fit very well when they fit on David's foot. But like, look at that heel, it's so big. It looks so, these, granted, they aren't blocked, but this is the finished right sock from the Octo Socks, and it's surprisingly stretchy. I mean, I'm pretty new to colour work. I've done it a couple of times, but never like a big project and never in the round. So I'm quite pleased with that they actually fit and go on a foot over a heel. So yeah, these are the Octo Socks, and I'm going to try and get past the heel on the other pair today. I've got 25 rows until the heel, and then the heel takes forever because it's a wrap and turn heel. I have never done that before these socks, and I can tell you they aren't my favourite heel to make. I did not quite enjoy the process, and I think they look quite hideous. I do prefer either short. Is that short row though? Because like when I've looked around for like instructions on how to do different heels, because I wanted like how to turn a heel with this amount of stitches, because I've only ever done that kind of heel, but on 40 stitches, because that's the size I've knit my regular Swedish raggsockor, which I don't have any I could show you at the moment, but I only knew how to do those with that amount of stitches, so I needed some help with that before I figured out how to calculate it. But yes, I know how to do that. I know how to do an afterthought heel. That's my favourite thing to do ever. But but these, I'm not I'm not loving the heel. But other than that, these are really fun. They just take a lot of thinking power, which I don't always have. So they're taking a long time to finish. But I'm knitting on a 2.5 needle, and yeah, I love it. It is fun and they turn out nice. Now, Raf, if you're here, you can look again because I put them away. A whip I have that's not knitting, because I think those are, I've talked about the socks, the other socks and the shawl. Yes, this is my current sewing project for the medieval wardrobe, and as anybody who's into reenactment in Sweden at least, you hand make your clothes. Machines are too futuristic. So I am working on a hat. This is an open hood hat. I'm currently hemming it down here, and I'm going to hem the front. This is the front, and I've already done like sewn the thing, the waist fabric down. So I'm gonna, and it's got this little floopy floop. I'm gonna put it on. It looks so stupid right now, but the thing is, you like do that and then you have an open hood hat. It is going to be double-sided though, so I am going to put an orange fabric or a red fabric, I haven't decided yet, inside, so that this part that you fold up, now obviously it's inside out, is going to be orange, and the rest is going to be this nice, this kind of fabric, like checkers and tartan and stuff, is not maybe historically correct for 1350, 60-ish, but I just wanted a quick project. I didn't want to buy any fabric at the moment, and I need a winter hat, so open hood woman's hat in progress for my medieval wardrobe. Not done, but will be soon. Those are all my whips for this episode. My finished objects. Now, I don't know, it feels a bit weird to talk about FOs in your first episode, maybe because it's like, since when? But I'm gonna just show you some finished objects that I've done lately, as in within the past month, like since October began. I'm new to reading patterns, like I said, because I've only ever knit stuff from how I know how to do stuff, so I've just never tried, and I thought, I can't do it. I don't know how to do anything when it comes to knitting, and definitely not in English or even in Swedish. So I just went for a pattern because I needed a pair of like cuffs. They're not quite mitts, and these are, except for the shawl with the yarn over increases, that was the first pattern that I made something from. Yes, I just went straight for it and made these leaving cuffs, and I forgot who designed those, so I am going to have to put that in the show notes. But I made the leaving cuffs, and this yarn is hand dyed by Teddies Knitts, which is again my friend. And on that note, I also have a pair of socks in the same yarn, which are the Hermione's Everyday Socks, and I just wore this so it looks a bit ratty, but yes, these are the Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Lueder. That's the first pair of Hermione socks I made, and it is possibly my very favourite pattern to make. It is so funny and it's really quick. I actually knit another pair Saturday to Sunday, like in 2 days. No, in 1 day. In 24 hours I knit an entire pair because they're just so much fun and they go so fast for me. This pair, again, looks very big. But this is the second pair. And I made these for the Socke-Along. Hello, Cheddar. That's my cone cat. Yay! He's sad because he's got a cone. But Hermione's Everyday Socks, take 2. These went super fast, I said that. I made these for the Amy Florence's holiday Socke-Along. Hashtag festive Sockalong. I made these. Another FO I have is the one I showed you. That's the same yarn as the orange sock. These are my purple super cozy at home socks. Just a regular cuff down on magic loop afterthought heel sock. Super easy and super quick, but took me a little longer than the Hermione socks that I just knit like that. And then we have my festive socks, my most festive socks I should say, because the red Hermione socks are my festive socks as well, is this pair, which is also just a regular cuff down afterthought heel vanilla sock in self-striping Christmas yarn, and I absolutely love this yarn. I've got like this much left, so this is like, I'm going to use this for parts of another pair of socks. I think I'm going to get some white yarn or something to use as either this as the body or this as the cuff, heel and toe. Maybe I can actually do a pair of each, because this is quite a lot. I think I used little less than half the ball of yarn. I'm going to have to weigh it to know for sure. That yarn though is, let me see. This yarn is, oh yeah, Rellana Garne, Flotte Socke, Christmas colourway. Yeah, since we're in Sweden, we have a lot of German yarn companies, and I don't really have a lot of indie yarns because I'm new to that as well. The most I have, like, I ordered some indie yarn, which I'm eagerly awaiting. I'm stalking the mailman, but this is like indie dyed by Teddies Knitts, but that's like the only hand dyed yarn I've ever worked with. I love it though, and I am definitely obsessed with that and really want to get more. I forgot to mention the yarn for this is unknown what it's from. It's a super old frogged sweater that my mum made for my dad, but she frogged it, and I have a million balls of this yarn just floating about my stash, so I thought I would make a pair of cozy warm socks out of it. So yes, those are my FOs. Actually, I've been busy knitting socks, and like I said, I'm waiting for more sock yarn because I'm definitely joining in with the box of socks, because I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs already, like 4.5. I'm waiting for yarn that's going to be another pair, at least one other pair. I've got enough yarn, Christmas yarn, to make another pair. I think I can do it before January, because I've done all this in October, except for the cuffs, because I made those in September. So that's like for future knitting, that's my plan. More socks, all the socks. Why buy socks when I can make them? So that is that, I think. and I think that is about that. I'm not going to show you my stash today because that's not a lot of yarn, but a lot of talking, and I think I should probably wrap this up because it's getting a bit long. Also, I'm like super far down now. I'm sorry, I was slouching back because my back is killing me. I'm just gonna, there we go. I might zoom in a bit, maybe. There we go. Hello, closer, close and cozy. So yeah, so far this feels nice. It's fun to just talk about something you're completely nerdy about, like knitting and medieval crafting. I really want to get that heel done today, which I'm going to try and do as soon as I am finished wrapping this up, and I also am going to try and get this hemmed. It's not a lot to hem. This is a very quick project, so I'm going to try and get that done today and maybe cut out the orange fabric for the inside. Stash acquisitions, I don't have any. Like I said, I'm waiting for one skein of hand-dyed yarn, but I did get a new pair of needles today, so I can make yet another pair of socks at the same time as my other 3 pairs of, no, not two pairs of socks and one shawl. Just got this in the mail today. These are my first pair of Knit Pro needles. I am using the one I'm using for Octo. I don't really enjoy working with. It's Pony brand, which is like a cheap brand. And then the shawl and my orange sock is knit on Addy needles, which I love. And these are Knit Pro Zing 2mm needles. And I didn't realise it would be pink. I'm really happy. They're pink. I love pink. So yeah, that's going to be fun to work with and try out. Yeah. Not really a stash acquisition, but it's an acquisition nonetheless. So, yes, I think that's that for my first episode. Might be going, we shall see, on Sunday to a sewing and crafting festival thing, but might also not be going, depends on what else is happening on Sunday. So I might have some stash acquisition to show next time. We shall see. I don't know how often I'll do this. I mean, if I keep being productive, I could probably sit here once a week, but I'm not gonna set myself up for burning myself out, because I do that over setting myself goals I can't achieve. Right, this is getting personal, like on a personal level, I'm sorry, but I've been like struggling with different things, mental health related things for years, and one of those things is burnout. So I like doing creative things like talking to a camera and knitting and stuff, but I don't want to decide on a schedule that might burn me out. So I'm just going to say I'm going to try and make more videos, and we shall see how often it'll happen, but yeah, hopefully more often than not. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little episode of Witchy Knits, and I hope to see you again in a future podcast episode. So I think I'm going to leave off with that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!